Sometimes, one seat change can rewrite the pages of your destiny. Imagine boarding a nearly empty plane, requesting a little extra leg room, and unknowingly setting into motion a chain of events that feels orchestrated by the divine himself. A stranger turns out to be a mirror of your own past. Your identity becomes a tool of dawah, and a passport mix-up becomes the gateway to a spiritual awakening. Is this just luck? Coincidence? Or is it something much deeper? A thread woven into your qadr long before you were even born? At Islamic Echoes, we don't believe in randomness. We believe in divine design, and this story is the perfect reminder of why you should, too. It all began at a Toronto airport. I was exhausted. I had already taken one flight and was gearing up for the second leg of my journey from London to Amman. All I wanted was rest. So I did what most tired travelers do. I asked the agent if there were any empty seats available for more comfort. She smiled and said, "Actually, yes." The flight was practically empty. She upgraded me to a window seat in the emergency row. Extra legroom, empty seat beside me. Perfect. She moved me from 12A to 27A, just a small change or so, I thought. I boarded the flight, settled into 27A, and was soon joined by a fellow passenger who sat a couple of seats over. He was warm, talkative, and naturally extroverted. We started chatting. "Where are you from?" he asked. "Palestine," I replied. His eyes lit up. "Same here." And just like that, the coincidences began unraveling. One by one, the conversation turned from casual to surreal. I told him I was from Gaza. "No way," he said. "Me too." We kept going. "Where did you grow up?" "Kuwait," he replied. "Me too," I answered again. "Did you leave during the Gulf War?" "Yes," he said. "So did I." I started to laugh nervously. "What did you study?" I asked. "Electrical engineering." I was stunned. "You're joking, I studied civil engineering." It was too much. Too specific. Too parallel. Like we were reading from the same script written in two different fonts. The connection was undeniable, and deep inside, I felt Allah was trying to show me something after some rest. We landed. I was getting ready to part ways with my new friend. At this point, he still didn't know much about what I did. I casually told him I was a content creator. But at passport control, something unexpected happened. Two travelers in front of us looked back at me, did a double take, and then pointed at their phone. "Excuse me, are you Sama?" They were showing one of my TikTok videos. They were so excited they started telling me they had spent the entire night binge-watching my content. We took a picture. Mortz, my travel companion, watched in amusement and curiosity. "Okay, now I really need to know who you are," he said. So I gave him my Instagram handle. He checked it, looked at the videos, and we started chatting about the deen. I could tell he needed to hear a few of the things I had to say. Maybe not a full-fledged lecture, but just enough to get his heart ticking. There was something pure about him, a softness in the heart that's not always visible but always felt. I felt like Allah placed me next to him, not for comfort, but for a reason. Something greater than just stretching my legs. We talked a bit more about Islam and the beauty of guidance when it comes unexpectedly through conversations you didn't plan. I thought that was the end of it. But Allah had written one more twist in the tale. He dropped me off at the hotel after a warm welcome. The kind of generosity that felt like brotherhood. Then I got a message that made my stomach drop. I think you have my passport. And I have yours." I froze. The passport officer at the exit must have handed us the wrong ones during the baggage check. I opened the passport, and it was his. Subhanallah. We had walked through security together, and somehow the final swap had brought our destinies into perfect overlap again. He messaged me again. "Is your father's name Ayad? Is your mother's name Nawal?" I said yes. He responded, "My mom recognized your mother's name. She used to teach at the same school in Kuwait. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just coincidence anymore. Allah was showing me, through every seat change, every flight, every question, that He is Al-Latif, the most subtle, the one who plans in such fine detail that you only realize it when you look back and smile in awe. Every step of this journey felt like a page from a divine script. And in Islam, we know there is no such thing as coincidence, only qadr. But qadr isn't just about what happens, it's also about how we respond to what happens. It's like standing at a fork in the road. Allah shows you the paths, but your decision opens the next chapter. The scholars say that in the preserved tablet, Allah has written every possibility, every if and then. If you choose good, here is what happens. If you choose wrong, here is what unfolds. It's not robotic. It's divinely dynamic. You still choose, but Allah has already written what would result from that choice. The companions of the Prophet Muhammad used to say they could feel the weight of their sins not just in their hearts, but in their homes. One would say, I would disobey Allah and see the effect in my wife's attitude and in how my camel behaved. Imagine that level of awareness, of spiritual self-responsibility. They understood that every action either blesses your path or burdens it, that even the little missteps leave footprints on your future. So if you want your life to improve, start by improving the choices you make. Open the doors to better destiny by living more consciously, more righteously. Make every step closer to Jannah by walking away from the things that pull you towards Jahannam. Ask yourself this: what seat has Allah placed for you in this journey of life? Sometimes you feel frustrated when your plan doesn't go your way, when your seat is moved, your flight is delayed, or your routine is interrupted. But what if those very changes were the divine edits that your story needed? That man on the fly that wasn't just another passenger, he was a mirror, a reflection, a connection. He was meant to be there, just like you're meant to hear this story today. And just like someone somewhere is waiting for you to say something that will bring them back to Allah, never underestimate a single conversation. Never downplay the power of kindness, of dawah, of living your deen authentically. When Allah places you in someone's path, it's not so you can be a background extra in their life. Maybe you are the turning point they needed. Be the reason someone prays again. Be the reminder that pulls them from darkness to light. Be a vessel, not a distraction. Because on the day of judgment, you might find that a tiny conversation in a passport line was your ticket to eternal reward. From switching a seat number to swapping passports, this journey was never about logistics. It was about purpose. Every interaction was proof. Allah is always in control. Even when you don't see the meaning immediately, the meaning is already there. The dots only connect when you reflect, and deep inside me, I know the story isn't over. The passport was returned, the conversations exchanged, but I still feel like there's a chapter yet to come. A reason Allah intertwined our paths so dramatically. Only time will tell. But until then, I've learned to trust the journey, to embrace the signs, to look at every interruption as a divine invitation. If you ever doubted that Allah was involved in the details of your life, let this be your reminder. He is closer than your own jugular vein. He is orchestrating miracles in moments you barely notice. He's rearranging flights, hearts, and lives just to give you a chance to remember Him. So here's your call to action. Next time something random happens, pause and ask yourself, what is Allah trying to show me? Share this video with someone who needs to believe again in divine purpose. Subscribe to Islamic Echoes for more stories that awaken the soul. And don't forget to leave a comment telling us about the moments in your life that made you realize there are no coincidences in Islam, because every echo begins with a call.